Okay, so the previous video I had to kind of like I guess chop that in half. So this will be part two. Why? Because there's actually a mistake in my notes. So this shouldn't be plus 34. It actually has to be minus 34. So the notes that I'm going to be posting for you, the blank ones, will so you know what? Let me just change this to a minus. Okay, so that will have a minus. It doesn't really matter. You can still solve for this question. It's just that you're gonna get ugly fractions if you work with plus 34 instead of minus 34. And I was still able to do this question, but um, it was really messy. I don't think you guys would have enjoyed working with plus 34. Okay, so let's just change this plus to a minus, and then everything will make a lot more sense. So now, again, we're using the method of comparison. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna compare the 2x in red over here to the 2x in blue. Okay, but the problem is I can't really compare the 2x in blue to the 2x in red because I have this minus 34 that's in my way. Okay, so currently, right, my equation, I'm just gonna rewrite this, is 2x minus 34 is equals to minus 2y. Okay, so let's just get rid of this minus 34 so that we can compare them, okay? When you compare something, you have to have the same thing on one side of your equation, okay? So as you can see in your first equation on the left-hand side of your equation, right? On the left-hand side, you only have 2x. So I can compare 2x with 2x only, not 2x minus 34. Okay, so let's modify this equation. So let's do plus 34 on both sides. So this disappears. And now your second equation, right, changes from 2x minus 34. So remember, this is a minus. Okay, this is a minus because it was a typo. So let me just, again, I think this one was done in blue. So this is a minus. Okay, so minus 34. Okay, so now I've, you know, just using a simple algebra, I was able to get rid of that minus 34 by doing plus 34 on both sides. So this is what my second equation looks like. Now I can compare this 2x in blue to the 2x in red. Okay, so let's do that. So 2x is equals to, right, is equals to um, 2x. Okay, now, but what is 2x equals to, right? 2x, my red 2x is actually equals to y minus 8. So I'm going to replace this red 2x by y minus 8. And I'm going to replace the blue one, right? The blue one by this. Okay, so this becomes, actually, this should be a y, right? So minus 2 y. So this is a y. Let me just clean that up for you. So y. Oops. Okay, so minus 2y plus 34. Okay, again, I like to have all my variables on the left side, so I'm gonna do plus 2y to get rid of this guy and move it to the left. And now this minus 8, I'm gonna do plus 8, and I'm gonna do plus 8. Okay, so now I get um, 3y, right? Because 2y plus y will give me 3y. 3y is equals to, the plus and minus 8 will cancel, right? So in this case, I have to add this up, so 42, okay? And then again, just use simple algebra, right? So get rid of the 3, divide by 3, divide by 3. And is it 14? I think it's 14. 10 3s 30, yeah, I think 14 times 3 is 42. So y is equals to 14. Okay, so y is equals to 14. Now, how do you find x? How do you find x in this case? Okay, y is equals to 14. So how do you find x? Again, use your equation. Okay, so you have two equations. This is your first equation, right? You know what y is. You can solve for x. You only have one unknown. Or you could use the second equation down here. Okay, I'm going to use both just to show you that you have to get the same x value, right? Remember, the point of intersection is the point where you know both your x and y values have to be the same. Okay, So let's do that. Um, so we have okay, 2, where should I do this? So let's just do it up here. So 2x, actually let me do that in purple. So 2x is equals to y minus 8. Okay, so I'm gonna replace y by 14, right? So 2x is equals to 14 minus 8. 2x is equals to, that's 6, right? So when you divide by 2, right? So divide by 2, divide by 2, x is actually equals to 3, okay? Now, let's use the blue equation just to see that we're getting the same thing, okay? So in the blue equation, I have 2x is equals to minus 2y plus 34. Again, you have to replace your y value by this guy, okay? So 2x is equals to minus 2 times 14 plus 34. Okay, so 2x is equal to, that's minus 28 plus 34. So 2x is equals to 6. And you divide by 2, right? So 2x is equals to 6. I hope this is kind of visible, so I'm just going to erase this. 2x is equals to 6, divide by 2, x is equals to 3, okay? Which is what I have up here. And you should get the same thing, okay? So your point of intersection is x comma y, right? X comma y. So your point of intersection is right, so x comma y, so my x is 3 and my y is 14. Okay, so this is your point of intersection, okay? And again, you can kind of graph this if you want, right? You would just have to solve for y, right? So in this case, if you solve for y, you're gonna get, let me just be consistent with my color. So if you solve for y, you're gonna get y is equals to 2x plus 8, okay? And in this case, my second equation, right, if I solve for y, it's kind of tricky. So that was minus 34, right? So you would, I think it was minus 34. I'm just gonna double check in the notes over here. Yeah, it was minus 34. So you just have to divide by minus 2, right? So if you divide by minus 2, you're gonna get, again, you can do this. I'm doing this very quickly, okay? So basically, this is my equation, and I need to solve for y. So if I can move the y over, so so I'm gonna get x and then plus 34, so 17, I think. Okay, if I solve for y, um, actually minus x, right? Because if I divide the 2x by negative 2, I'm going to get minus x. And then if I divide minus 34 by minus 2, I'm going to get positive 17, okay? So this is what your two functions will look like. And if you graph them, this will be your point of intersection, okay? But again, there's a better way of finding the point of intersection without necessarily graphing. How is that? By using the method of comparison, okay? What I did is I compared this 2x, and I think this one was in purple, so this or red or whatever. Okay, so this 2x to this one, but initially I had a 34, right? And remember it was minus 34. This is a typo. In the notes that I'm posting, you're gonna see minus 34 in there. So this minus 34, I needed to get rid of that. Okay, so I did plus 34 on both sides, as you can see. Okay, plus 34 plus 34. So I got rid of that, and that's when I was able to compare. Okay, so again, I don't want to make my videos too long. So if this is confusing you, please let me know. Send me an email. But I think it's fairly straightforward. Now, this question, so again, just by reading the suggestions, right, I saw that some of my students are getting bored. I'm gonna make this optional. Okay, I'm gonna make this optional. So I'm gonna do this in my video right now. Because your homework question will have this optional homework question for the students who are getting bored and would like to challenge themselves. Okay, I'm gonna put this optional. We're gonna do word problems eventually next week, but I'm just introducing it right now. So if you I don't want to make my videos too long, right? So if you've understood everything up till this point, then you're good. Okay, you don't have to worry about this week's quiz. Okay, if I'm gonna give a quiz, I'm not gonna test you in word problems. Okay, this is completely optional, but I'm gonna do this. Okay, so you have this alpha. Um, they charge a one-time membership fee of $210 and $20 every time you ride. Okay, so so if I were to write this as a function, um, x would be number of rides. So this is like an amusement park, I guess. Um, or no, not an amusement park. I think this is like some kind of racing stuff. I don't know, maybe bikes or something. I'm not too sure. Okay, anyway, so y will be um if you want total cost. Okay, so first thing that you need to do is label x and label y. So based on this information, y will equals to every time you ride, you have to pay $20, right? So if I write one time, so it will be 20. If I write two times, it's going to be 40. Three times, it's going to be 60. So it's 20x plus whatever they charge you initially, okay, $210, okay? So this is how you would represent this situation as a function. Now, the other guys, right, Beta Racing charges $35 every time you ride, but only charges $105 for their membership. Okay, so um, so again, I'm gonna use the same two variables, but I'm gonna do this in blue. So the total cost will equals to 35x plus 105. Okay, now they are asking you when how many times would you have to write at each for the total cost to be the same. So they're just asking you basically, they're asking you to find the point of intersection. Okay, so when do these functions will equal to each other? Why? Because they're asking you when will the total cost be the same after how many rides. Okay, so again, remember, point of intersection means that both functions, right, need to have the same x and the same y. So there's a specific number of times that you have to ride with the beta racing and alpha to have the same total cost, and they're asking you what that magical number is. Okay, so here, right, all you have to do is just use the comparison method. So compare the red one, y is equals to the y in blue, right? The y in red is actually equals to 20x plus 210. And the y in blue is equals to 35x plus 105. Okay, so again, my idea is to have all my variables to the left. So I'm just going to do minus 35x minus 35x. So this will disappear. And then let's get rid of the 210. So minus 210 minus 210. So that means I'm going to have to work with negative numbers, but that's fine. So that means I have negative 15x is equals to negative 105. Okay, I think. Let me just double check, because I think 105 is the half of 210, but 105 minus 210 is negative 105, right? So to solve for x, you have to divide by negative 15, divide by negative 15, and x is equals to 105 divided by 15 is 7, okay? So if you if you ride with the alpha, right? Uh, Motocross, I don't know what that is. Honestly, is that I've never heard of that. So let me just quickly Google this. Is this like a biking thing, or is this an amusement park? Oh yeah, it is a biking thing. Okay, I didn't know it was called. It's kind of like the NASCAR of biking. Anyway, I'm not really into bikes, so I honestly did not know what that was. But yeah, it is biking. Okay. Anyway, um, it's kind of embarrassing, I guess, that I don't know that stuff. But yeah, I am really not into that. Anyway, so if you ride with Alpha Mo Motocross, right? They will charge you. How much will they charge you? Okay. It seems like at seven, both of them obviously are going to charge you the same thing because we've done the algebra, right? So plug in x is equals to 7 in here. Okay, so and find out the y value. So y will actually equal to 20 times 7 plus 210. If you work this out, it gives you 140 plus 210, and that's 350. Okay, and I'm assuming it's going to be the same thing in blue. Okay, so y is equals to 35 times 7 plus 105. Okay, so 35 times 7 is 210 plus 35, 245, I think, times 7. Yeah, 245 plus 105. So that's 50, 350 as well. Okay, so in other words, right, if you ride with Beta Racing and Alpha Motocross 7 times, then in both cases you'll end up paying $350. Okay, so that's the point of intersection. Again, I'm gonna make this optional. Okay, I'm gonna make this optional. So this is your homework. You just have to find the point of intersection. So this is question 1, question 2, question 3. Again, you have to use the um, comparison method. Now, question 1 should be fairly straightforward. 2 should be fairly straightforward. Question this one's hard. Okay, as easy as it looks, this one's hard, and the answer to this video question will be given to you in the next video. It's a bonus question. So these two are bonuses. Okay, so if you would like to challenge yourself, do this one, do this one, and I'm gonna be posting the next video on Tuesday. So on Tuesday, you will see what the solution is. But I think most of you should be able to do this question if you um, were watching me. If you've seen me solve this question, I think you should be capable of doing that. Okay. Again, remember, this is just a challenge of my students who are getting somewhat bored. So I'm sorry I was, making things very simple because I didn't want to overwhelm you guys too much. But I know that some students are struggling with the basic information that I'm giving you, which is why I'm making this optional. Okay, it's only for the students who would like to challenge themselves. So uh, please go ahead and um, you know attempt the two bonus questions that I'm giving you. Okay, and see if you can figure this out. In my opinion, this one is easier. Okay, this one is easier. And this one is more difficult, but I'm gonna give you a hint. Okay, and the hint is to graph them. Okay, to graph them, and then you'll see. Use your graphing calculator. You could also use a website. It's called Desmos. If you Google Desmos, okay, DESMOS, you can actually put the function in there, and it will graph it for you. Okay, if you don't have a graphing calculator, and and uh, and then maybe you will see what the problem is in this question. Okay, so that is it for today. Yeah, so you guys have a nice day. Okay, take care. Bye bye.